Welcome back in. Welcome back in. It's your boy Mike coming back at y'all, man. Week 5 as we prepare to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams coming into this matchup undefeated, and the Cowboys have yet to beat the Arizona Cardinals in this franchise up to this point through Josh Dobbs and Glenn Roberts. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Now going into year 4, we've beat them 2 consecutive postseasons and every single season of the franchise so far. So Dallas certainly going to be hoping to turn that around, and they're coming off of Dak Prescott earning himself an NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 21 of 26, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had one on the ground, while Joe Burrow takes home Offensive Player of the Week honors in the AFC. 296 yards, 4 touchdowns. Amani Harris, 2 interceptions and a score for Arizona in their win last week against the Bucs. And first things first, Rashad Bateman going ahead and getting an upgrade here. Of course, he did miss the game last week against Tampa Bay, but he's back this week ready to rock and roll. And certainly Arizona happy to have his services back. Glenn Roberts surely very excited to have his services back. BJ Ojulari now up to a 91 overall officially. Unfortunately, we didn't get any block shedding in that upgrade there, but you know it is what it is. Rondale Moore continuing to work his way up. He's close to a 90 overall now as well on a multi-year contract. And I mean, look, at this point, turning into one of the best number 2s in the league, inching up there towards one of the best receivers in the league all told. Jalen Thompson up to an 87 overall. Happy to have him in the fold through, thick and thin of these, first 3 years and change of the franchise. Glenn Roberts going ahead and giving him a scrambler upgrade. He's up to an 87 overall, playing up to an 88. And we know he's still incredibly young now, still just 23 years old. Crazy to think after 24 years old after all these seasons now, this being his 3rd as a starter. Keegan Buchanan, who has missed, about half the year so far. Of course, our very first draft pick in the franchise, just an 80 overall. But I mean, you can't ever have too many good offensive linemen. And the fact that we have a young stud to just kind of take over one spot on the offensive line while already having Paris Johnson Jr., drafting another couple of young guys in Sanders, Dalton Murray, and James Rivera. Really nice to go ahead and just have a little bit more continuity on that line. Enrique Sneed now up to an 80 overall, and he has been revealed as a superstar X-Factor player. Now, we did know that because in the preseason, he did get an upgrade during our weekly training to X-Factor. So we were aware that that was going to be what it was. Going to go ahead and stick reinforcement on him as his ability to start. Zach Chambers up to 78 overall. And we've loved what we've gotten from Zach Chambers. Of course, last week did have quite a few targets that he just really wasn't able to go ahead and corral. But as a rookie, you really can't be expected to step in and, kind of be that number 1 guy immediately, especially when the number 1 guy in this instance is one of the best receivers in the league, and you're also behind one of the more formidable number 2s as well. Darrell Hobbs, who is going to continue to kind of work in a little bit in the absence of Ty Davis-Price, now up to a 75 overall, +2 there to his spin move. Dante Stills, one of the other OGs, he's been here since day 1, started with us as a rookie. And now time to go ahead and take a look at some of these Dallas Cowboys X-Factors, man. You got Micah Parsons here. Of course, we already know one of the best pass rushers in the league. I mean, we've talked about him multiple times over. And I truly, up to this point, not sure that he's ever against Arizona truly been able to wreck an offensive game plan. He's had his moments, he's had sacks, he's had some pressures, but not really been elevated to that kind of level of game record that we would typically expect from him, but he's definitely going to be able to have his opportunity today, especially with Trayvon Diggs defending on the back end. One of the best corners in the league, boasts incredible speed and elite size, 96 zone coverage, 88 press, also has decent man coverage, although, definitely not his forte, especially when you're comparing it to the zone coverage. And how about second-year man Christopher Bronson, 6 foot, 196 pounds, out of Arkansas. We did see him a few times last year. He wasn't necessarily really able to hold his own when matched up against some of our more elite receivers, but 86 man, kind of the antithesis of Trayvon Diggs, also has pretty good speed. Press and zone are, decent, so definitely should expect to see quite a bit of both mixed in today. CeeDee Lamb now moving on to the offensive side of the ball, 97 overall, but playing up to a 98, just 27 years old, and the number 3 ranked wide receiver in the league thus far. 92 speed, has one of the best route trees of any receiver in the league, and he's one of the more elite guys once he gets the ball in his hands as well. Has, kind of a slick type of speed to him where, you think you have him and you really don't, and he's able to just make something happen. And that's thanks to his, very much steady veteran quarterback in Dak Prescott, now 33 years old, one of the oldest quarterbacks in the league at this point. Crazy to think, man, that it seems like just a few years ago, he was one of the kind of up-and-coming guys in the NFL. My bias is showing a little bit. Do think that Dak is one of the most steady veterans in the league. Do I think he's elite? Not necessarily, but do think that he's kind of a little bit of a tier above Kirk Cousins, but kind of in that same mold. And he's protected up front by the now 13th year veteran Zach Martin, who is 35 years old. And you got to think that at 35, this is kind of going to be his last best chance to cash in on what is a formidable Dallas Cowboys team. He boasts all the makings of a future first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's going to be looking to pull his weight in this matchup of two heavyweights of the NFC. Tight end Conrad Gregg now in his second season, 81 overall. And tight ends are a position that Arizona has tended to struggle with, whether that's the linebackers matching up against them, safeties, even Lewis Cine and Jalen Thompson, who are both decent in coverage. They both seem to kind of struggle a little bit when it comes to those more consistent route running type of guys from the tight end position. And left tackle Alexander Reed, a rookie left tackle that we kind of considered but ultimately decided against drafting an offensive tackle early on. We re-signed DJ Humphries to a 1-year deal, and he's not the best pass blocker, actually very much a detriment in the pass blocking game. However, can definitely hold his own in the run game, and we'll be looking to see what he can do matched up mostly against BJ Ojulari today. But as we take a look, man, player to watch, CeeDee Lamb last week going 9 catches for 121 yards and a touchdown. And, with our trio of cornerbacks, we like kind of any of their chances at matching up against him. Not that any of them will be able to stop him completely, but with the combination of, you line up anywhere on the field from the XYZ position, and you have a guy who can really put hands on you and, kind of redirect where you want to go, throw off that timing, and even should they get beaten, on the initial read, have the kind of ability, awareness, and comeback speed, Jalen Johnson maybe a little bit less so, to just kind of go ahead and really make their mark in this game. But it should be a very interesting one, man. We've had a lot of really good clashes against Dallas in this franchise. Hoping to get another one here today. But first things first, man, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this Cowboys roster. Dak Prescott at quarterback, of course. Running back Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn there as well, now in year 4, still with Dallas. Tom Chandler, third-year fullback there. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and second-year man now Shamir Allen going to be those top 3 receivers. Fellow second-year man there at number 4, Luke Marsh, who offers a little bit of size and still has a decent bit of speed to him. Conrad Gregg at tight end, Luke Schoonmaker, former second-round pick for Dallas, in there now as the second tight end. Alexander Reed at left tackle. Left guard, you got Tyler Smith now in his fifth season. Tyler Biotish at center. At right guard, you got Zach Martin, future first ballot Hall of Famer, and Terrence Steele manning that right tackle spot. Left end, Kingsley Keke with the departure of DeMarcus Lawrence in the offseason. Right end, you got Micah Parsons, of course, someone we've talked about ad nauseum. Mozzie Smith, rookie Jamie Browning at defensive tackle. Jamie Browning, someone that we did consider. However, with Juan Drummond and Denario Stewart, just didn't really feel like it was a necessity. Terrell Pinkins at left outside linebacker, LVE, and DeMarvion Overshown at middle linebacker with Damone Clark sliding in at right outside linebacker. Trayvon Diggs, Christopher Bronson, and Deron Bland, who was a top 5 guy in Defensive Player of the Year voting this past year in real life, right there at number 3. Malik Hooker still with Dallas here in year 4 at free safety, and the young safety Jordan Battle now in his 4th season at strong safety. Kicker, you got the rookie Sean Barwin, punter Matt Araiza, and it is going to be Arizona to go ahead and get things kicked off. Tommy Townsend back to kick. He's ready to kick things off, man. It's time to get underway. Week 5, battle of 2 4-0 NFC conference team. NFC conference, yeah, man, very much redundant. Battle of 2 4-0 NFC teams. And here's Dak Prescott, man. 97 for 126, 1,124 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. And they're going to start things out with Dak Prescott in the shotgun. He's going to hand things off to Tony Pollard here, who's going to go up the middle but be stopped after a gain of just 4. It'll be a 2nd and 6 now, moving into a trips look to the left. Pollard remaining in the backfield. Quick pass left side out to Conrad Gregg. And Gregg ultimately going to be brought down there just inches shy of a first down. But now Dallas has a number of options. They could take this 3rd down call with just inches to go. Dak is going to elect to drop back for it. Tries to go after CeeDee Lamb, but Imani Harris going to force the ball out of his hands and give Arizona the ball after an early 3 and out. Here's Glenn Roberts, 93 for 158, 1,292 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Of course, has been having a pretty decent start to the season, all things considered. The interception numbers are a little bit high, but he has an opportunity here, especially with no Ty Davis Price, and now with Rashad Bateman back in the fold, to go ahead and correct that a little bit. But he's going to start here with a handoff to Antonio Gibson. However, he is going to be hit down for a loss of 2. Deron Bland in there with a strong tackle. Now 2nd and 12. Roberts again going to take the snap, and he's going across the middle. It's Zach Chambers in coverage with Trayvon Diggs, and Roberts wastes no time going ahead and targeting his rookie pass catcher against one of the more veteran guys in the league. Now targeting him again. This time it's Rondale Moore right side, who does haul it in. It is going to be a flag down, and it's going to be roughing the passer here on Mozzie Smith. Head coach Mike White going to elect to go ahead and accept that, unfortunately taking away the catch from Rondale Moore. But into Dallas Cowboys territory here at the 41-yard line. Handoff to Antonio Gibson up the gut. Tries to go ahead and redirect, but nowhere to go. He's going to get just back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 2nd and 10 now. In the backfield, Gibson again, and he's going to get the handoff. Gibson has the edge. Gibson out races one, jukes out another, and Gibson going to race to the end zone, dives in for the Arizona touchdown, and it's the opening score of the game. Antonio Gibson taking it 40 yards. Great blocking up front. Able to get it outside, outruns one, jukes around another, and Micah Parsons, who I thought might have been able to go ahead and catch him, doesn't. Instead, he dives into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. Dallas back on offense, and Dak is going to have Michael Gallup there. Or no, that's going to be the second-year man, Shamir Allen, for a gain of 19 down to the 44-yard line. As here they go at the 44, Dak going to hand off. Antonio Gibson, exactly. We're not on offense. It's Tony Pollard down now to the 44. He's going to have a fresh set of downs for Dallas. as they're set up now at the 44-yard line of Arizona. Going to a two tight end look. Dak Prescott handing it off right side. It's Tony Pollard. Pollard breaks off one tackle, not going to be able to evade the tackle there of Juan Drummond after a gain of 3 yards. Now here they are flipping the play around. Trips look to the left-hand side now. Dak Prescott drops back. He's looking left side, has a man. It's CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee able to hold on through the contact and extend for the first down. Now 1st and 10, Dak dropping back. Dak looking long, but pass knocked away. Jalen Johnson looked like he may have had a chance to go ahead and intercept that. However, he does knock it away. Definitely can't be upset with that. Dak now looking short, has Conrad Gregg, but Cam Wilhelm all over that to drop him after a gain of just 2. 3rd and 8, Dallas going back to that trips look to the left. Play action fake to Tony Pollard. Dak scrambling out. Dak looking to go deep, trying to find a man, but it's going to be knocked away again by Jalen Johnson. Dallas going to elect to go ahead and settle for 3. They make it. Arizona back on offense as Glenn Roberts keeps it on the read option, and he's going to try to make a juke move. Nothing going there. Going to be dropped down after a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 now. Here's Roberts. Gonna hand off. No, he's gonna fake the play action, and he's looking left side for Rashad Bateman, and Bateman hauls it in through the coverage of Christopher Bronson, 2nd-year cornerback. Now 1st and 10, and they're going back to a formation that's looking very similar. Roberts rolling out. Roberts gonna dump it short to Rondale Moore, and Rondale Moore has a gain of 6 yards. Glenn Roberts now with 4 completions on the day, as here we go. Roberts dropping back. Roberts going deep. Has a man a couple of steps. Rashad Bateman. And he has Bateman. Corrals it before he's hit down by Christopher Bronson at the Cowboys' 6-yard line. Call it a 47-yard gain. And certainly awes all around the stadium. Looked like Roberts was dead to rights there with Micah Parsons closing in. Instead, Roberts is able to just get it away. Bateman hauls it in, and it's going to be a 1st and goal now here at the 6-yard line. Here's Roberts. Roberts going middle of the field, but he's going to be intercepted by safety Jordan Battle. Just to break the 4th wall a little bit here, I was looking for Zach Chambers, who looked like he was coming open despite the coverage, but he bumps into Rondale Moore, who knocks him off of his route. Not sure if he would have had the touchdown, but surely would not have been an interception. Dallas, though, forcing the first turnover of the game. And Dak now going to Michael Gallup. Amani Harris not able to get there and knock it away. And Michael Gallup is going to waltz into the end zone for the Cowboys touchdown. Dallas strikes back immediately as they get on the board with their, well, they were already on the board, as they get their first touchdown now of the game. And Michael Gallup, the guy who's kind of lost a few steps since all those injuries started to kick in, goes for 80 yards, puts Dallas in the lead, as Glenn Roberts going to find Trey McBride, who's hit hard there by Damone Clark down to the 42-yard line. Now 1st and 10. Here's Roberts looking middle of the field, gonna overthrow his man, looking for Zach Chambers. This time it'll be a 2nd and 10 now. Here's Roberts again climbing the pocket, now going short, and he's intercepted. Looking for Rondale Moore, and he's undercut. It's a linebacker, Damone Clark, in there for the huge play for this Cowboys defense. Cowboys with 2 consecutive possessions now with an interception. They're back with the ball and a 10-7 lead, as Arizona's defense now going to be looking to do a little bit of heavy lifting, as here's Dak faking it on the play action. Looking deep, has a man. It's Gallup again. And Michael Gallup down to the 10-yard line is going to bring an end to the first quarter, with the Cowboys leading 10-7. And Dak with 141 passing yards already on the game. This Cowboys offense certainly looking very, very good. First and 10 now here at the 10-yard line, essentially a first and goal. Dak going to get some space up the middle. He is going to slide forward down to the 3-yard line to bring up a 2nd and 3. Now, I do apologize. The last couple of minutes of the second quarter were just not able to be uploaded, apparently, by my Xbox. Tried to do what I could to recover it, wasn't able to. I did get, the last 3 minutes, which is the most I was able to get, to go ahead and get these last few plays for you guys. But Dallas did end up going ahead and getting a field goal there. We get a field goal of our own to make it 13-10. They score, and as you see there, Cameron Dicker with a 62-yard field goal to bring Arizona within one possession, as Andrew Stinson could have had an interception there. Dak Prescott missing CeeDee Lamb. Now looking for Lamb again. Andrew Stinson again in position, can't haul it in. And CD and Dak just not on the same page seemingly on this possession. Minute 48 to go here in the second quarter. Handoff up the middle to Tony Pollard. Arizona elects to call their first timeout of the half after just a 6-yard gain from Pollard. Now here's Roberts in the empty look, trying to find somewhere to go with it. Micah Parsons back there to make him get rid of the ball, and he does. And it'll be a 2nd and 10 now from the 23. Here's Roberts going to go quickly to Zach Chambers. And despite the hit there by Jordan Battle, Zach Chambers able to hold on to the ball. Arizona still electing to hold on to those timeouts as just a minute to go here. Here's Roberts now looking left side, Rashad Bateman. And Bateman is going to haul it in through the coverage of Christopher Bronson down to the 15. Roberts electing to go ahead and hurry up this offense now, as he's going to fake the play action run there to Antonio Gibson, dumping it short to Trey McBride, who has space down the left sideline. Stiff arms the man before he gets knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And with 1 yard to go between them and pay dirt, Roberts going to go ahead and hand it off to Antonio Gibson, who has nothing but wide open space in front of him for his 2nd touchdown of the game. And that is going to tie things up here for Arizona. I'm going to go ahead and speed run this a little bit. In the clip that was missed, Jalen Johnson did leave the game with a dislocated shoulder, and he will not return for the duration of the ball game, which means it'll be Andrew Stinson, Amani Harris as the top 2 guys, with Israel Mukuamu sliding in as the 3rd cornerback. And with the way that Arizona typically likes to have their guys follow, looks like Mukuamu will be guarding 2nd-year man Shamir Allen. But meanwhile, elsewhere around the league, Tennessee picking up their first win of the year, handing the Texans their 4th loss of the year as they take the 21-18 win behind a pretty decent game from Trey Lance. Meanwhile, Carolina dropping their 4th game of the year to the now 4-1 Bears, 31-15. Justin Fields, 17-21, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns as they cruise to a win. Elsewhere, man, the Rams go ahead and take care of business against the Seahawks to advance to 4-1. San Francisco going ahead and picking up a win against the Giants, finally getting in the win column. And that's going to do it for the division there. But tie ball game here as we head into the second half. Both defenses have been playing very, very well. Both offenses also just kind of been taking what the defenses give them. But it will be Arizona ball to go ahead and start out the second half. They have an opportunity to go ahead and grab momentum back with the ball game tied at 20 apiece. And with Rashad Bateman now in the zone, here's Roberts making some adjustments at the line. Hikes the ball, going to try to look quickly for Rashad Bateman, who's going to have the ball knocked out of his hands by Malik Hooker. Now no longer in the zone. It'll be a 2nd and 10 as here's Roberts going quickly left side to Rondale Moore, who has a gain of just 5 yards there down to the 30. 3rd and 5 now, going to a trips tight end look. Rashad Bateman lining up on the right-hand side, not somewhere you see him line up too often. And Roberts is going to have A.J. Ringer down to the 46-yard line. Ringer, of course, 2nd-round pick for us in this most recent draft class. and taking over second tight end duties from Elijah Higgins. As here we go, 1st and 10. Roberts going to go quickly left side to Rashad Bateman. Notice the corners were playing a little bit more off than you would typically expect to see. Makes it cash out with about 3 yards to Rashad Bateman. Now 2nd and 7. Roberts going to hand it off to Antonio Gibson. Gibson makes a move, and Gibson has space there down to the 29-yard line. A 20-yard scamper there for Antonio Gibson. Really good run there after already his 40-yarder that resulted in a touchdown and his 1-yarder that resulted in a touchdown as well. As here's Roberts slinging it out quickly to Rashad Bateman on the play action rollout. Bateman has it down to now the 8-yard line, the 9-yard line. Roberts not quite able to hook up with his man there. It'll be 2nd and goal now from the 9-yard line. Still, of course, as here's Roberts. Looked like he might have had an option to run, but instead he's going to look right side, targeting Trayvon Diggs again with the rookie Zach Chambers. Chambers able to find a little bit of space, gets up for the ball, not going to drop it through the contact from Trayvon Diggs, and Chambers is into the end zone for the Arizona touchdown. The Cardinals now back in the lead, as it's going to be a 27-20 ball game as Dallas set now to take back over on the offensive side. Dak Prescott handoff up the middle, Tony Pollard. Pollard going to break a tackle before being brought down at the 30-yard line after a gain of 5. Now 2nd and 5. Here's Dak going, has middle of the field, Michael Gallup, and Michael Gallup has a gain of 21 yards there down to the 49. Gallup working on his 6th catch of the day for 157 yards. Amani Harris, Andrew Stinson just not doing a great job of being able to hold him down, although the 80-yard touchdown catch does kind of skew that just a bit. It'll be a 2nd and 8 now here. Dak looking left side, has a man. It's going to be Shamir Allen down to the 40-yard line. Now it'll be a 3rd and 1. And with 2 receivers each side, Tony Pollard in the backfield, handoff to him. Pollard gets the outside. Zach Martin throws a huge block, and Tony Pollard is going to waltz into the end zone for the Cowboys touchdown. And the Cowboys just refusing to go away. We know how high-powered their offense is. Zach Martin throwing a critical block to give Tony Pollard just enough space to make it into the end zone. And Arizona set to get the ball back now with things tied at 27 apiece. So now Arizona back of the ball with things tied. Roberts looking for Trey McBride, pass knocked away there by Leighton Vander Esch after nothing going on 2nd down, 3rd and 10. Roberts looking for Rashad Bateman, but again, pass knocked away, this time by Deron Bland. And a quick 3-and-out by Arizona set to give Dallas the ball back on offense. Dak able to corral a bad snap, and he's going to have Conrad Gregg, who fumbles, but ball is going to be recovered by Shamir Allen. That's going to be a 27-yard gain for Dallas here. Now here's Arizona with a lot of guys in the box. Dak looking quickly, trying to fire it out there for Michael Gallup, but pass is going to be knocked away. Dak still in the zone. 2nd and 10. Dak going to hand off to Tony Pollard, but B.J. Ojulari having none of it, dropping Pollard for a loss of 2. His first tackle now of the game. 3rd and 12, as here's Dak dropping back, trying to find CeeDee Lamb, but pass knocked away, broken up by Andrew Stinson. That'll force a Cowboys punt. Arizona back with the ball. 2:45 to go here in the 3rd quarter, making some adjustments. Here's Glenn Roberts, and he's going to look middle of the field for Rondale Moore, who's going to get down after getting to the 31-yard line. Arizona now fresh set of downs to work with 2 receivers each side in the spread look, or spread wise slot, I suppose is the exact formation. Hits Rondale Moore left side to lead to a 2nd and 1 now. Now looking at the bunch formation, Antonio Gibson gets it up the middle. He's at just 6 carries on the game, but 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10. Handoff, no, fake. Glenn Roberts going to try to find Trey McBride and does as McBride hauls it in down to the 39-yard line. Big throw there from Glenn Roberts. Had a lot of Cowboys pressure in his face, but able to get it away. Now 1st and 10. Roberts going to fake the play action and going to cancel it and going to hit Zach Chambers for a gain of 17 yards down to the 21. Arizona's offense is moving. Chambers' 4th catch of the game for 62 yards, and that's going to bring an end to the 3rd quarter with the score tied at 27 apiece. Dallas doing a really good job on the ground, not something you typically see Arizona's defense give up, as here is Glenn Roberts trying to go deep for Zach Chambers. Christopher Bronson able to snatch it out of the palms of Chambers right at the last minute. Really heads up play from the 2nd-year corner. Roberts with the pump fake, going to dump it short to Rondale Moore now, who's not quite able to make it there for the 1st down. Instead, it will be a 3rd and inches, as here's Glenn Roberts. And Roberts looking, has a man quickly. It's Rashad Bateman, who's going to end up going backwards a few yards, but does get enough for the 1st down. Now 1st and goal. Here's Roberts quickly. Rondale Moore, end zone, touchdown, Arizona. And Glenn Roberts is really spraying the ball all over the field today. A plethora of different Arizona pass catchers, or rather players, catching passes today. Rashad Bateman, Chambers, Rondale Moore, Trey McBride, A.J. Ringer, Antonio Gibson, and now Rondale Moore once again going ahead and cashing things out with a touchdown, as here is Dak Prescott, who's going to go ahead and get the pass away to Tony Pollard, and Pollard breaking a number of tackles there as he gets down to the 40-yard line. Just a quick breaking the 4th wall moment. It has been months, and I still have not effectively found a way to, land hit sticks. I feel like every time I attempt to hit stick, the computer just ends up breaking off the tackle, which is very infuriating. It's why you don't see me go after them a whole lot. But here we go. Pass knocked away from Conrad Gregg, 3rd and 8, looking at the trips formation, going across the middle of the field, and he hits Conrad Gregg, and Gregg is wide open. Amani Harris trying to hawk him down. Can't, and Conrad Gregg takes it 52 yards to the house. We talked about how our safeties have been having trouble guarding these tight ends. Jalen Thompson, one of the better safeties in the league, especially as far as coverage goes, not able to hang with Conrad Gregg on this occasion. And he's going to give up a long touchdown as the Cowboys tie things up. And Roberts now hitting Rondale Moore across the middle of the field down to the 41-yard line. 6:55 to go here in the 4th quarter. Cowboys have been giving Arizona's defense more fits than any team has in quite a while, as here's 1st and 10. Roberts going to go ahead and be sacked there by Viliami Fehoko, the pass rusher who hasn't gotten an opportunity up to this point. But with DeMarcus Lawrence no longer on the team, there were extra reps that needed to be soaked up. Fehoko was able to get some of those, and he is able to bring down Roberts for a loss of 12. And now here on 2nd and 22, handoff to Antonio Gibson. Malik Hooker, the first Cowboy there, but not before Gibson's able to make his way downfield for about 11. Now here we are on 3rd and 11. Roberts trying to look left side for his most reliable target, Rashad Bateman, but the pass is knocked away. Arizona going to go ahead and punt the ball away back to Dallas. And Dallas, with just a bit over 5 minutes to go, has all the momentum and has the opportunity to go ahead and bleed some clock, as here's Conrad Gregg picking up the 1st down. And now under 5 minutes to go, here's Tony Pollard looking left side. Pollard has some space, but Jalen Thompson closes it quickly, drops him after a gain of just 2. It'll be a 2nd and 8. Trips look to the right, and we already know how dominant Conrad Gregg can be in this situation. Instead, Dak going to go ahead and change it up and find Michael Gallup across midfield down to the 44-yard line. Now handoff Tony Pollard breaking a tackle, and Pollard able to find 2 yards. He's up to 109 yards and a touchdown on 17 carries. 2nd and 8 now. Here's Dak Still trying to make some adjustments here at the line. You see Amani Harris creeping up. He doesn't creep up. Instead, he tries to get back, but Michael Gallup has it once again. Dak closing in on 400 passing yards as he has had a fantastic afternoon. Handoff to Tony Pollard, going to be brought down there. Enrique Sneed able to go ahead and make the play. Now 2nd and 9. You see the linebacker shifting left side. Here's Dak Prescott going to go ahead and swing it out to Tony Pollard, but he's going to be knocked down after a gain of just 1. Amani Harris hitting him with the cut stick. 3rd and 8. And if you're Arizona, you need to hold Dallas to 3 points or less here. And here we go. Looking left side has CeeDee Lamb wide open. And CD with a concentration drop. Stinson didn't make it over there for quite a while, but he made it in time to see CD drop the ball. Dallas going to go ahead and settle for a field goal, gives it back to Arizona, and now with just over 2 minutes to go here in the game, an opportunity to go ahead and finish things off as the play action boot goes out to Trey McBride for a gain of just 4. And that is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning with Dallas leading 37-34, nearly doubling what the next closest team has put on us in a game so far this season. Glenn Roberts making some adjustments. He's going to He's going to bring Trey McBride out a little bit further to the right, and he's going to hit Zach Chambers early on the corner route. Chambers there for a gain of 21, and he's had no issues targeting the veteran Trayvon Diggs all throughout this game, and he's going to do it again as Zach Chambers able to go ahead and put the Jets on as he has the ball down to the 16-yard line. Trayvon Diggs can't believe it. Malik Hooker trying to tell him, hey, you needed to be here. But Zach Chambers, don't be fooled by his size. He does still have plenty of speed to work with as he brings Arizona's offense down there now to the 16-yard line. Under a minute to go, Arizona electing not to go ahead and use those timeouts. Hits Rondale Moore short. It'll be a 2nd and 6. And they're going to go ahead and hurry things up to the line. Roberts still trying to make things happen. Here he is dropping back. Roberts sees some space up the gut. Roberts going to go ahead and outrun the interior of the Cowboys line and into the end zone. Glenn Roberts taking it himself. Mike McCarthy doesn't like it. This Cowboys defense doesn't like it. And Arizona's sideline is loving it. You see the guys on the field going ahead and celebrating with them. Roberts playing some big boy football, gives Arizona a 4-point lead with 35 seconds to go. Now, Dallas does still have all 3 timeouts, but they have to get into the end zone if they hope to make anything shake here. Looks for Conrad Gregg, first play of that possession. Pass knocked away. It'll be 2nd and 10 now. Dallas loving that trips formation that they've used all day. Jalen Thompson not able to bring down Gregg. Gregg breaks off the tackle of Lewis Seen and gets out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Dallas now 29 yards away from potentially stealing this one from Arizona as Dak looks right side and has Michael Gallup down to the 13. They'll call their first timeout. 20 seconds to go. Dak, middle of the field, has a man. Conrad Gregg Mukwamu tackles him into the end zone, and Dak Prescott is loving it. 35 seconds the Cowboys had to work with to get into the end zone. They only take 16 as a number of well-designed and well-called plays sees Dallas just march through what has been a very stingy Arizona defense. But now Glenn Roberts, with 1 timeout at his disposal and 12 seconds to go, has an opportunity to go ahead and get the Arizona Cardinals in field goal range and potentially force overtime at the very least. Roberts taking his time here, sending Antonio Gibson out for a route. He's going to look right side, trying to find Zach Chambers. Chambers was open early on the route, but Roberts not paying him any mind. It's going to be 2nd and 10 now here. Still at the 21-yard line. Quick throw to McBride. McBride has it down to the 45. They'll use their final timeout. And with 3 seconds to go, it makes it a much more manageable Hail Mary type of situation. Roberts, here he is, has time, and Roberts throws, and it's going to be knocked away by this Cowboys secondary. And the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy have finally slain their Arizona Cardinals demons, picking up their first win against head coach Mike White in this franchise. And if you're Dallas, you have to love it. Was in the game the entire way, has stretched Arizona's defense in a way that most teams haven't stretched them in quite a long time. And with a game-sealing touchdown drive orchestrated by Dak Prescott in the closing seconds, can't ask for a whole lot more, as both teams close to 600 offensive yards. Arizona, those two interceptions certainly seeming to cost Arizona in the long run. Dallas just 3 of 10 on third down to Arizona's 4 of 8. So the defense did their job as far as that. Glenn Roberts dropping back to pass 53 times, but 506 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not a great game, all things considered, by Glenn Roberts, but again, missing Ty Davis-Price, and with Antonio Gibson just not getting a whole lot of carries in the game plan this week. Got to take what you can get. Tony Pollard leading the way for running backs, 14 for 110 and a score. Glenn Roberts also having a score, what we thought was the game winner, while Antonio Gibson gets 2. Michael Gallup goes 9 for 212 and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman going 8 for 162. Conrad Gregg, 7 for 157 and 2 scores. Zach Chambers goes over 100, as does Rondale Moore, with both of them chipping in with a touchdown. As you see, man, number of receivers collectively for both teams really getting things done. Jalen Thompson, Christopher Bronson, Jordan Battle, Trayvon Diggs, all with 8 tackles apiece. Bunch of guys there with 1 tackle for loss. Cam Thomas getting the only full sack of the game. Interceptions, Damone Clark and Jordan Battle. Dak remaining with just 1 interception on the year. Forced fumble recovery was Antonio Gibson on a muff punt. Wasn't really muffed, but you know the way the Madden works sometimes. But that is going to bring us into week 6 to take on the LA Rams. And the Rams, not something you are used to seeing in this franchise. Rams sitting at number 1 in the division, with the Cardinals losing a conference game. Not sure exactly who the Rams lost to. I will have to double check on that. But the Rams in first place, and they're going to be hosting the Cardinals here in week 6. And, maybe potentially having a bit of a blueprint after the way that Dallas played against us. Now, they weren't really able to stop our offense per se, but they did have a dominant offensive performance in their own right after the first quarter. Certainly going to be looking forward to it. We did get a trio of sweep on the Rams last year, beating them twice in the regular season and then knocking them out in the playoffs. So we'll be looking to go ahead and continue that next week. But as always, man, I do hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Be sure to like and subscribe should you feel so inclined. Until next time, man, I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of y'all day, and peace.